This video is brought to you by the Agricultural Worker Project of Southern Minnesota Regional Legal Services. In this video, you will learn how to write and submit a wage demand letter to your employer. When your job ends, a wage demand letter is a way to ensure that you receive your final wages. The date by which you should be paid your final wages depends on which state you worked in. Since our organization serves workers in both Minnesota and North Dakota, we will address laws specific to each state regarding your final wages. Your wage rights depend on the state where you worked. North Dakota workers. You should receive your final wages by the next regular payday after your job ends. It does not matter whether you were fired, laid off, quit, or the season ended. If your employer does not pay you on time, you may have the right to a penalty or additional money from your employer. That is up to 30 extra days of pay if you worked in North Dakota. Minnesota workers. There is a lot of information on Minnesota rights, so you may want to pause and take a picture. If you're a recruited migrant worker and your job ends for any reason, quit, resign, laid off, season ended, you must be paid within 3 days. If you are a non-recruited migrant worker and your job ends for any reason, you must be paid within 3 days. If you are any other agricultural worker, including those who are settled, you have the right to be paid at least every 31 days. If you are discharged, fired, or work ends, your wages are due immediately upon written demand. If you quit or resign, your wages are due the next regular payday unless that is less than 5 days away. In that case, payment can be delayed to the following payday. However, unpaid wages should never be paid later than 20 days after work ends. If you are not paid within either of the timeframes I mentioned, pay is due within 24 hours of written demand, and if not, you may be able to claim up to 15 days of pay. Before you get started, remember that your letter does not need to be formal. It can be written on something as simple as a napkin. You can also send it electronically, such as by text or email. There are a few things that should be included in your demand letter. Background facts that describe what wages you are owed in detail, including pay period and how many hours are supposed to be included. Owed wages and compensation may include paid time off, also known as PTO, and bonuses. Where and how your employer can pay your wages. This may include a mailing address if you have already left the work site. Of their obligation to pay the wages within 24 hours or incur a penalty. The penalty amount depends on the state. Lastly, your printed name and signature. Remember, the demand letter should be polite and factual. Make sure to attach any evidence or documents, if applicable. Here are 2 examples of wage demand letters. Feel free to pause and take a picture. What's next? After you have created the letter, take a photo of it or make a copy in case your employer misplaces it, doesn't receive it, or destroys it. It is also important to keep a copy of the demand letter for your own records. The copy is proof that you wrote and sent the letter. Ways to send. You may send the letter via email or physical mail. You even have the option to hand deliver the letter to your employer if it's something you're comfortable with. It's suggested that mail letters are sent with tracking information, so you are aware when it has been delivered. If you would like assistance writing your demand letter or have not received wages after submitting the demand letter, you may contact the Agricultural Worker Project. The Agricultural Worker Project provides free and confidential civil legal aid to agricultural workers in North Dakota and Minnesota, including the recovery of wages. We are available to take your call at 1-800-652-9733. You can also text or call us via WhatsApp, 507-473-0804 for Minnesota and 701-218-2642 for North Dakota. Our Facebook page is Agricultural Worker Project of MN and ND. We are available to receive Facebook messages as well. If you prefer to act on your own, you can listen on to learn how to contact the State Labor Department. Self-advocacy. If you prefer to reclaim your wages on your own, you can contact your state's labor department. The Labor Department may inform you about how to file a wage theft claim or complaint with the department. They also may provide information about the applicable wage laws. You can contact the North Dakota Department of Labor and Human Rights at 701-328-2660. You can contact the Minnesota Department of Labor and Industry at 651-284-5005. Thank you for taking time to listen to this wage demand presentation. We hope that the information helps you recover your unpaid wages.